Come on,
That's
let's do
right.
it.
Did you say shoot up and come down? Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. We are a little late, but we had some great breakfast this morning. And hey, I don't know if you guys caught those moves to the upside yesterday and then the consolidation that we're seeing here. Big deal is, big question that everyone wants answered. Is this a trap for the longs? Or are the bulls finally ready to take control of this market? B. Wellington, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. What you got, Doc? Like, what you
Yeah,
think's
so we'll
going
just
on?
we'll just hop into it. So, so this is the hourly. We'll take a look at it. I mean, we're up here at this area, which I'm going to call resistance, just based upon kind of the past areas in which we've had some confluences as well. So, and we've got some volume nodes up here as well that we call this resistance. So we're just hopping on this resistance. So, the deal is, are we going to go continue to go up, or are we going to come back down? We have at this cross, right? So this cross on the 1 hour, that's pretty significant. And normally what happens is we have a retrace back into the cross to take out, some of the longs that got aggressive here, trap a bunch of shorts, and then move to back to the upside. So
So that
not
so
saying that we're
that
going to
so this is the golden cross as they refer to it happening on was that the 1 hour?
ride on the 1 hour.
Okay.
So, so the one of the things that, because we've had this huge extension through this zone. This is a low volume node. So I would imagine that we get back into that area, can probably come back and test this, really this 1361, because we've had such a move to the upside and settle back into this area as well. So the question is, do you think that this move was actual new money that was coming in? Or was this just a big short squeeze to try to get, retail on board? I'm not seeing a bunch of money coming into the market. We've got, unbalanced volume at some of these highs. The other thing you notice is that, when we're getting into these highs, you get a lot of these vectors that are coming in. We've got another vector here. We haven't really had any follow through. We've got a blue candle here, which would indicate that, this could have been a vector, but kind of got sold into, absorbed, if you will. So, you're kind of running out of steam, in my opinion. I mean, we had a nice little vector here, and again, that vector didn't go anywhere. You got this big vector here that got us there. You had this vector here that turned into the blue candle. Like I said, that got absorbed. Uh, and so I don't feel like we're moving to the upside. I mean, we may start to trap to the upside here. I mean, we've got a high over at if we look at this high on this candle, which is yesterday's high, 1594, maybe we get up to there at 1600s. But if these vectors keep going and there's no follow through, expect us to retrace at some point. So I think we're going to retrace. After that retrace, we may continue on the way up. I mean, I'd least like to see it come back to the 50, which is a 1511, which would be a nice move to the pivot point, even, which is 1498, which would be a nice move to the downside. So, we'll just have to see what happens there. But,
So are you thinking we get below 1500 again on the retrace, or you think this is just going to be somewhat
yeah,
of
I
a
mean,
short one and then
on a
continuation?
on a smaller time frame, I mean, you kind of like, so you got this vector, you kind of moved out of the zone right here. So what I like to do is look at areas like here, which is the pivot point. This is on the 14 minute, by the way. Pivot point. You kind of have this low volume node that kind of gets into some of this area. We'll probably come back down here, maybe test this area for a minute, take a bounce to the upside. I think this is also going to be the 50 on the 500. So I think 1500. I think a lot of people will buy from that 1500, thinking that that's going to act as some level of support. But if you really want to look at it from a POC standpoint, your POC is all the way down here. So you had this launch point in which you've had this markup. You've had last week's high. So, I mean, when the drop comes, when the retrace comes on larger time frames, it's going to be pretty significant. So, I would say it's a pretty good risk reward for those that think that this move to the upside was just basically a short squeeze. If there's no liquidity coming in, And then also remember we've got some news coming in tomorrow, but also we got FOMC next week. So let's kind of get into what the news looks like. So $7.1 billion. I think we got up to 7.2, 7.3, so a little bit down from the highs. OI is tended to be flat from an overall aggregate basis. Uh, if you can see here, Binance is basically building here. Looks like they are, without the delta kind of moving, but looks like they're kind of building longs in this area. Uh, I think I saw a couple of larger uh, uh, positions that came on board, but CVD is kind of trending to the upside. So I'd imagine this is more of the longs that are coming on board, at least the longs that are dominating on this side. But things remain fairly flat, but OI is climbing, so I'd be careful of that because price has remained flat as OI is building. You've got funding rate that's positive. So again, I think those are longs that are coming on board from that standpoint. Had a nice little open on the Dow, S&P, Nasdaq. But what you find is the Meta is dragging down Nasdaq. Meta missed, and I think they're down considerably, like considerably down. So that's driving down Nasdaq, but Dow, S&P's flat. You got some folks that are betting on the Dow right now. If we go into some of the news, looking at the news, we've got real gross domestic product, 2.6. Really, this is these numbers are actually looking pretty good. Economy is actually expanding based upon what I'm seeing here. I mean, 0.5, 2.6, those are good numbers. This miss is not a huge miss, but it is less than what's expected, so that's good for the economy overall. PC's coming out tomorrow. We've got Fed next week. That's all I got on my end. What do you got on your deal side of the world?
Yeah, man. Well, let's take a look at it real quick. And we have a whole bunch of cool stuff to show you. Alright, so here we are. This is High Block Capital, and as you can see, we had that $300 million long liquidations that took off. We talked about that yesterday. We've had quite a few more fairly large long liquidations to the tune of 153 million. But what we really want to see is we saw some big volume show up from the short side, 152 million. And I think right around 1600, and I think that is where they're kind of holding that resistance area. And this is something that we were waiting to see for a good reversal, so that we can come down and kind of just clear this area out. So, and we're still at $16 billion on the long liquidation delta here. So, but seeing this leads me to believe that we are going to start slowly moving our way to the downside, just as B. Wellington mentioned. And let me jump over here to Bookmap real quick so we can see what the order book looks like for that right now. And then we'll have to show up here. But as you can see, we don't really have anything holding us back right now. They've just kind of opened that up. So what we want to do right quick is zoom out here. All the resistance is really, looks like it's really up to the upside. And that's what it looks like right now. To the upside is the resistance area is 1580 against 1600. But there's not really a whole lot holding us here. So I mean, I can see 1500 coming pretty quick, actually. So I am to the downside as well. I'm a bear.
Roar.
Rawr. Okay, well guys, that's all we have for today's show. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Be there, be square. Until next time. AMF.
Adios, my friend.